Good day everyone. In this video, we will discuss about transactional replications, distribution agent latency. Let's consider you have a transactional replication configured and you get a call from one of your application team or the customer that some changes have been made on the publisher like 1 or 2 hours before and those changes are still not propagated to the subscriber server. So this scenario that we are going to look at is something on the same lines wherein we have done some transaction on the publisher server and currently the distribution agent is kind of stuck wherein the required changes that was meant to be propagated to subscriber is kind of in a hold up wherein the distribution agent is not progressing as expected. So let's first look at the instances involved on this transactional replication. Since it is a demo, what I've done is like the publisher server is JBS Wiki. JBS Wiki access both publisher and distributor, and JBS Wiki slash JBS access the subscriber. Okay. Now let's look at replication monitor. So if you see here, the log reader agent is basically showing as no replicated transactions are available. That means like all the changes that are performed on the publisher database has been moved from the transaction log to the distribution database. And now let's look at the distribution agent and see what is happening there. Yep. So if you look at the distribution agent here, what we are able to see is like it is basically telling like delivering replicated transactions, and what I'm seeing is like this is ongoing for like close to 2 hours now. That's what I'm seeing here. And also if we look at the undistributed commands, there seems to be like 118,777 commands still pending. The estimated time to apply these commands is basically 17 seconds, but believe me, this will remain as 17 seconds for some time. Yeah. So right now, whatever the customer or the application team is telling seems to be a little true because if we monitor this particular thing for next 5-10 minutes, the undistributed commands will stay as is, and also like any new changes that are going to come in is basically going to build up the undistributed command. So what I'll do is like let's try doing some changes here. Maybe like let's delete some more data from the tables. Let's execute it. I'm doing it on the publisher server. Now, if you look at the log reader agent, you should be seeing things moving fast, like 3 transactions with 25,000 commands has been moved. And now if you look at the all subscriptions here on the distribution agent, you will be seeing that the undistributed commands have basically increased. Yeah. So this is what happens in the real world. The buildup will be even worse, wherein something of this sort gets stuck. Any new queries coming in, any new changes that is happening on the publisher will all be stuck. Like even though the log reader agent is working as expected, the distribution agent seems to be having some sort of an hung situation. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the publisher server. I'm on the distribution database, going to execute the query to check MS distribution agents and MS log reader agents. I'll first get the agent ID. Yeah, I have just one publication. So for the distribution agent, the agent ID is 20 and log reader agent it is set to 5. Yep. So now we know that everything is fine as far as log reader agent is concerned. Let's execute it and then let's see it. Now, if you look at the time is 3:29 p.m., 15:29 p.m. and time if you see here it is 3:30 p.m. Yeah, so no replicated transactions available. So that means like log reader agent is looking good. Now, when I execute this query to check what is there on the distribution history, you can see that we have this message stating like delivering replicated transactions, and this is the exact sequence number. Yeah. So first let's execute this exact sequence number and then see what information we will catch. Let's execute that. Now, if you see here, we don't have much information. Yeah, the exact sequence number is this, but it doesn't tell us like what is the command and what is it basically doing. So nothing helpful here. Yeah. So now what I'm going to do, let's execute the MS distribution history and let's look at the stats. Let's see if stats is going to give us some information. So the last it is like 3:25 p.m. So let's look at that one. Let's put it on a notepad. Yeah, it will be really easier. If I check this, let's enable the word wrap. Okay, if you see here, stat state is equal to 2, fetch is equal to 1, weight is 6153 and commands is like 26,002. I'm more interested here. So if you see here, the since last stats elapsed time is 359 and wait time is basically 359. So basically I'm completely waiting here. Yep. And commands per second is just 3. So 3 commands is basically flowing through. That's what I'm seeing. And then let's look at the messages, like what does this message mean? So this is a little pathetic here because the reason why I'm telling pathetic is like commands per second that is flowing is just 3 per second. Only 3 commands are flowing. Yeah. And also like if you see the build up is not much. Yeah, build up is like if you look at the distribution undistributed commands, it is close to like 1,43,849, 143,000, just 143,000. If this kind of issue happens on a production environment where we have a good amount of load, that's it, everything comes to its knees. Yeah, but here since it's a demo machine, I'm just showing with fewer record just to see like how we can troubleshoot this. Yeah, even for this, what I'm basically seeing is like the stats is basically telling like we are just passing, like we are just moving 3. There is a distribution agent is basically moving close to 3 commands per second, and most of the time we are basically waiting. Yeah, and now if I see here, this message raised events that occur when an agent's reader thread waits longer than the agent's message interval time. If you notice state 2, state is 2 here. So in our case, it is state 2. That means like if you notice state 2 events are recorded for an agent, this indicates that the agent is taking a long time to write the changes to the destination. So that means as far as the distribution agent is concerned, distribution reader thread is all right, but distribution writer thread seems to be having issues. That is the one that is responsible for writing the changes onto the destination. So that one seems to be having issue. So now that we know that the distribution writer thread is having an issue, maybe it is a blocking issue or something is basically holding up that. We will look at it. Exact sequence number did not help us. We couldn't get much details on that front. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to see what is currently running on the subscriber. I'm going to use this sp underscore who's active. Let's execute that. And if you see here, this update statement that is running here. Yeah, that is the only statement that is running. So this update statement on the table 1 is running. And if I verify the application name, that will tell me whether program name, that will tell me whether it is replication related. So if you see here, this is a distribution agent. Yeah. So it is pretty clear. So this one is taking time, and let's execute it. And what we are seeing is like the update statement, a single update statement is seems to be taking close to 1 minute 26 seconds. Yeah, 1 minute 34 seconds. 1 minute 37 seconds. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, let's add uh, let's look at the plan. Let's look at the uh, estimated execution plan. I think let's look at it. I'm not sure what it is. practice plans. So let's look at the execution plan and then see if that is going to help, because one single update statement taking this much of time doesn't seem like normal. Yeah, so now the update statement is completed and the next update statement has come, and this update statement is like close to 22 seconds now, as of now. Yeah, let's first click on the execution plan. Wait for it to come. So if you see here, what it basically tells is like the query is going for a table scan. Yeah, we know that as far as any table in the transactional replication is concerned, we will definitely have the cluster index. Yeah, because the basic prerequisites for transactional replication is that each article should have a primary key, and if there is a primary key, then you should be having a cluster index. There is a possibility you can convert that cluster index into a non-cluster index, but 99% of the tables primary key would be like will be having a cluster index. Here, at least if someone has changed the primary key to a non-cluster index, we should be seeing an index seek, because if you see here, column 1 is basically your primary key. Yeah, because the update happens using that. So let's execute this query one more time and see how long is it taking. If you see, it is showing as 5 seconds. Now, if you look at it here, the predicate for this update statement is column 1. So every time you look at any stored procedure, any statements, let it be update or delete, that is coming from as far as replication distribution agent is concerned, it will have a predicate on the primary key. So in our case, the primary key is column 1, but I'm not sure like why we are not getting an index seek or cluster index seek. Yeah, mostly it should be cluster index seek because primary key comes with automatically with the cluster index. So I'm not sure on that. So, but yeah, let's run it and then let's view the timing here. So if you see it consistently, each update statement is taking more than 1 or 2 minutes. Yeah, so the problem is very clear. So the distribution agent is definitely taking a lot of time. One good thing is like it is not getting blocked till now. I haven't seen a wait type. Everything looks good. The only problem is like the update statement is very, very slow. And when we looked at this execution plan, it is pretty clear like the slowness is because that is doing an table scan. It is estimated number of rows to be read is close to like 1.5 million. Basically, it is reading each and every row. Yep. So now let's look at the publisher server and then see if we have an cluster index or not. Yeah, so let's this is the subscriber server and this is the publisher server. Yeah, table 1 is the one that is having a problem, so let's check table 1. Yeah, table 1, I'm on distribution database. Let's change it to the user database and then let's check that. Okay, so if you see here, we have a primary key constraint and then we have a cluster index. Yeah, now let's do the same thing on the secondary server, that is your subscriber server. Yeah, table 1, let's change the database context to the user database. Let's try alt F1, and if you see here, we don't have the primary key constraint. So let's look at the publication properties and then see what does the snapshot do. Maybe someone might have deleted it manually, yeah, or maybe like the snapshot agent did not apply it. But let's look at it. Let what we have here. But the snapshot agent basically tells like action if name is in use, drop existing object, and create a new one. That's the option set. And also let's look at anything related to cluster index or primary key. Let's look at it. Copy cluster index is also set to true. So snapshot should have copied there, but not sure what happened. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the snapshot location, the REPL data folder. Let's go to there and then see if for table one we have the snapshot folder has a script related to the cluster index. Yeah, let's go there. And table one is the one I'm worried here. So table one index. So let's look at it. Let's open it within Notepad. And let's see what do we have there. Okay. Let's open this. Okay, if you see here, uh, table one underscore two dot idx basically has tried to move the primary key constraint. Yeah. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to try creating that. Before that, what I'll do is like I can't let this running. So let me stop the distribution agent. But just keep in mind, if you stop the distribution agent, all the work that it has done till now will have to be like rolled back and then it has to redo everything. That is something that you need to keep in mind. So let me stop it. So this is a decision that you have to take care. You will have to speak to your business, tell them like these are the things that you're going to do. You need to take a calculated risk as well. Yeah. So I'm on the JBS wiki slash JBS server. Let's run sp underscore who is active and then see if everything is running. Nothing is running. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to run this and see if this primary key constraint can be created here on the subscriber server. Let's go ahead. And what it is basically telling, it is basically telling there is already an object named. Okay, so that means like there is one more table that basically has a constraint, a primary key constraint with the same name. So as far as a database is concerned, even though it is a different tables, the primary key constraint name should be unique. So let's check which other table has got the primary key constraint with the same name. So let's execute this query. And then if you see here, table 10 has got the same name as this one. If you see here, yep, maybe like someone scripted it out and then changed the table name but forgot to change the primary key constraint name, or they missed a zero here after table one a zero, something, some mistake, a user mistake. So now what I'm going to do is like I'm going to drop table 10, not database. I'm going to drop table 10 here. Or what you need to do is like you need to remove this um, primary key constraint, yeah, on table 10. I'll first remove that, and then what I'll do is like I will create it with proper name here on the subscriber server. Yep, so let's create table 10 and let's name it as pk underscore table 10. Yeah, this way we shouldn't be having a problem. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to create it on the table 1. Let's wait for it to complete because we have some rows there. And once the primary key constraint is created, what I'll do is like I will start the distribution agent one more time and then see if it makes any difference. Yeah. So it is completed now. Now what I'm going to do, let's run a Alt F1 and then ensure that we have the cluster index and also the constraint. Everything looks good. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to start it. So one option is like whatever we have done, wherein we stop the distribution agent and then we started it all over again. Basically, like what it is, like we created that basically the primary key constraint. The second one is like to uh, remove the article and then create those constraints properly and then create a new publication or add it to the existing publication, apply the snapshot. And if you see here, as soon as I created that primary key constraint, you can see that the distribution agent has moved on. Yeah. So let's put a tracer token. And if you see here, the distributor to subscriber latency is nothing. So 0 seconds. It's like publisher to distributor is 2 seconds and distributor to subscriber is 0 seconds. This way, we looked at the distribution agent latency. We followed the step-by-step approach as to how to understand where the problem is. And then we also looked at the troubleshooting approach with which we effectively looked at the issue and then resolved it. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Jai Hind.